Madam Speaker, for purposes of debate only, I yield the customary 30 minutes to the gentlelady from Pennsylvania, Ms. Scanlon, pending which I yield myself such time as I may consume. During consideration of this resolution, all time yielded is for the purpose of debate only. Madam Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks.
Without objection.
Madam Speaker, last night the Rules Committee met and reported a rule, House Resolution 1287, providing for consideration of 3 measures. H.R. 8070, the Servicemember Quality of Life Improvement and National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2025, to be considered under a structured rule. The rule provides for 1 hour of debate, equally controlled by the chair and ranking member of the Armed Services Committee, provides for 1 motion to recommit, and made 350 amendments in order. Additionally, the rule provides for consideration of House Report 118-527 and the accompanying resolution recommending that the House of Representatives find United States Attorney General Merrick B. Garland in contempt of Congress for refusal to comply with a subpoena duly issued by the Committee on the Judiciary. The rule also provides that upon adoption of the resolution accompanying House Report 118-527, the resolution accompanying House Report 118-533 is adopted. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to support the rule and the underlying piece of legislation, beginning with H.R. 8070, the Servicemember Quality of Life and Improvement and National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2025. Madam Speaker, under Chairman Rogers' leadership, as well as the leadership of Ranking Member Adam Smith, the bipartisan fiscal year 25 National Defense Authorization Act passed the Armed Services Committee by a vote of 57-1 and significantly improves the quality of life for our service members. It deters our adversaries, it supports our allies, and focuses our military readiness and our national security. According to several top national security officials, our country is facing serious threats to our democracy and freedom at levels that we haven't seen since World War II. It is imperative for our national security that our service members and their families are supported and that they can focus on their mission. Ahead of the NDAA, Chairman Rogers established a quality of life panel to evaluate the quality of life of our service members. The panel found that service members' quality of life concerns are a major cause of low morale and family stress, which are undermining recruitment, retention, and military readiness. The National Defense Authorization Act puts our service members and their families first and addresses many of the issues found in the quality of life panel. The legislation improves service members' quality of life by boosting compensation, improving housing, ensuring access to medical care, enhancing support for military spouses, and increasing access to child care. Through the tireless work of the House Armed Services Committee and Rules Committee staff, the NDAA advances important policies to support our warfighters at home and abroad and deter our adversaries. It is the NDAA's intent to ensure that our nation's military is organized, trained, and equipped to deter our adversaries. Communist China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and any other nations or terrorist groups must know that they will never succeed in a war with the United States of America. The NDAA restores American deterrence by restoring lethality, defending Israel, securing our southern border, and providing oversight and accountability. To deter our adversaries, we must continue to modernize our military. The National Defense Authorization Act boosts innovation, providing for the development and fielding of AI, quantum computing, and autonomous systems. The legislation also removes Communist China from our supply chain and prevents the Communist China spies from infiltrating our research institutions inside the United States of America. The NDAA bolsters Taiwan's defense and supports our Indo-Pacific allies as they work to deter our shared adversaries. This legislation also supports our ally Israel as they defend themselves from Hamas terrorists by expanding U.S.-Israel military exercises while also fully funding cooperative missile defense programs. Additionally, Madam Speaker, the Armed Services Committee included language that saves our taxpayers over $30 billion by cutting inefficient programs, obsolete weapons, and Pentagon bureaucracy. We live in the greatest free nation on earth, and it's imperative that we support those who protect it. The fiscal year 25 National Defense Authorization Act is another step in that direction. Moving on to the resolution recommending that the House of Representatives find United States Attorney General Merrick B. Garland in contempt of Congress for refusal to comply with subpoenas duly issued by the Committee on the Judiciary and the Committee on Oversight and Accountability. Madam Speaker, At the beginning of February, Special Counsel Robert Hur released his report on President Biden's mishandling of classified documents that were discovered in his home and office in 2022. On February 27th, the Judiciary and Oversight Committees issued identical subpoenas compelling production of certain documents, including audio and video recordings of Special Counsel Hur's interviews with President Biden and his ghostwriter. These subpoenas were not complied with, Madam Speaker. The audio recordings were never produced. On May 16th, the morning of the markup of the contempt report in the Judiciary and Oversight Committee, President Biden exerted executive privilege over those recordings. Now, Madam Speaker, audio tapes are the best evidence that the transcripts provided to the committee accurately reflect the true content. Additionally, President Biden waived any potential assertion of executive privilege when he released the transcript, and he has not set forth any valid basis for invoking executive privilege. Madam Speaker, the following things are true. The subpoenas were legally authorized. The subpoenas were not complied with. It is extremely clear we wouldn't be here on the floor today discussing the matter if that was not the case. The American people deserve to know the truth. Even news outlets in this country, nearly a dozen in fact, have sued for the access to the recordings. Madam Speaker, Attorney General Garland has chosen not to comply with the subpoenas, and because of his choice, he must be found in contempt of Congress. Madam Speaker, I look forward to consideration of these important pieces of legislation and urge passage of this rule. I reserve the balance of my time.